Okay guys, I took an old flannel shirt that was once my husband's and I cut the back out. Guys, this is the first time I'm doing this. If I was to do it again, I would have went to the fabric store and got a little bit larger piece of fabric. But I did make do and it did work out fine. I'm taking an old tin pan and some Stiffy that you can get right from Amazon, and we'll try to attach a link to this video. And I'm making sure that it's completely covered throughout this piece of fabric. That's the key when you're using Stiffy. You want to make sure that you get every part of the fabric covered with it. So I'm basically getting it on, rubbing my fingers through, and making sure that it's completely throughout the fabric. And then at the end, when you know that you've covered it all, you're going to squeegee it out with your hand and get the excess glue out. Then I laid it out flat and just wanted to make sure that I covered it all. And I felt that it was a little long, so I cut the tip of it with a pair of scissors and I put that piece of fabric aside as I'm going to be using it to tie the top. So at the dollar store, I found this 11-inch splatter screen. And I'm sure you guys are starting to figure out what this is. And I took my fabric and I wrapped it around the top, and you had to tip it upside down, and tied the top of the hat and clipped the back, and I had to hang it upside down till it dried, and then I was able to take the clips off and everything held together very well. This is pretty stiff and I have basically no movement in the fabric at all. So you guys are going to see me use a compressor type stapler, but this is not necessary. You can go to any hardware store or any craft store and get a hand stapler. And the thing is you just want to make sure you staple this very well so that there's no movement in the head at all. I will put a link below for a hand stapler. Now I'm going to be using Wise Owl Republic Red, and I'm going to be covering the screen and the entire board. I previously painted this board with black from Wise Owl. It is a 4-foot high board by 10 inches wide. And I'm not worrying about complete coverage. I love it when black shows through just about any color. I made a heart at the bottom of the board to give an appearance of a pair of shoes, and then allowed this to dry. If you guys have been watching me for a hot minute, you know that I absolutely love joint compound as a medium. It's inexpensive and you can grab it at pretty much any hardware store. Once my paint was dry, I took joint compound and a plastic putty knife and started to apply the joint compound all the way from the rim of the hat down as I'm starting to create a beard. Now, one little tip I want to tell you is when you're done putting on your joint compound, around the screen area the following day, mine was all cracked. Don't panic. It will work out. You're just going to go back and do another covering of the joint compound, and then that layer will not crack. You'll be fine. The rest of the compound down the body, down the board was fine. I had no issues with that at all. So I use a swirly motion to get the appearance of long hair. And then I put that aside to dry, about 24 hours. Before I let it dry completely, I took a nail and I nailed it into the center of the board. And you want to make sure you do that before it dries or the compound will crack. I wanted the word hello on this little chalkboard sign that I grabbed at Michael's for a couple dollars. And I had this Hello Fall stencil, so I just blocked off the word fall and was able to stencil on hello. Now the key with stenciling is you want to use a foam applicator, whether it's a foam roller or a foam brush. And the key is having a very dry applicator, and it's a dabbing motion, and you do not want to push, because when you push, that's when you're squeezing the paint underneath the stencil. This is a very light dab with very little paint. Once that was done, I lifted up my stencil and put that aside to dry. Guys, all our paint products and brushes can be found at chalkitupfancy.com. And guys, please go and subscribe to our YouTube video. So I'm putting that aside to dry, and I'm getting my dry gnome at this point, and I'm taking a chip brush and some black Wise Owl paint, and I'm just doing a very light application in a wisping motion, and it's just grabbing all the details of his beard and just bringing that out and giving a really nice look. And I hung my hello sign on his little nail, and I think he came out really cute. Guys, I did paint his nose with a little beige color. Thank you so much for watching. Again, go check us out on YouTube, and please subscribe. Hit the little bell. Thank you so much.